So to get started with working with any endpoints or any APIs or any backend application, you're going to have to install Node on your machine. So to install Node on your PC, just go to Node.js.org and follow the instructions and download it. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to show you how to create API endpoints. So to get started, in our terminal we need to initialize it first. So we just do npm init. So then it'll tell us what we want to call the package, and just leave that as it is, the version, okay. Description, you can put it in if you want. The entry point I'm going to use is server. I'm going to use server.js. Test command, skip that, skip. You can put in your name here. License, you can put in a license if you wish. Then it's going to ask you, is all the above okay? We press yes. So when that's done, then we have a package.json file. So have our name and our version, our description, everything that we entered in there. Okay, so the next step then is we're going to have to install a couple of dependencies in order to create this endpoint. So Express is the main one, so we're going to install Express. So we just say npm install Express. So we'll give that a second to okay. And now we can see in our package.json file on row 12 Express is installed, and we have a package.lock.json file now, and we have our Node modules. So in order for all this to work, we need to have a server running. So we're going to install a dev dependency, NodeMon, and what NodeMon will do is every time you make a change to a file, when you save it, you'd have to restart the server for the effects to take change. So NodeMon will do this automatically. Anytime it detects a save, it's going to restart the server, and it just saves us having to restart the server manually every time. So we do npm install /d to save it as a development dependency, because when we deploy to Heroku, we won't need NodeMon. Heroku will be just loading the server. So we'll just say npm install /d NodeMon. Okay, so here on row 14 and 15 you can see it came in as a dev dependency, NodeMon. That's exactly what we want. So our entry point, we set it to server.js, so we're going to create that here now. So in our root we're going to create a file called server.js. Okay. Now to get started, we're going to set up Express in here. So just going to say const Express. I'm going to set that equal to require Express. Now we're going to set a variable app. We're going to set the variable app to Express. This is just some standard way of doing it. Const app equals Express. Now we're going to set up our port, because the port will be running on a the server will be running on a port, so we're just going to say const port is equal to process.env. We'll say it to process.env.port in capital letters. So process.env will set it up when we deploy to Heroku. The port will be set to whatever Heroku sets the port to, but in development we're going to set it to 3000. So basically what this is saying, in development the port is going to be running on 3000, and in production Heroku will set a port and it'll set it to the variable port. So then for the port to work, we're just going to say app.listen, and we're going to listen on the port variable we just set, and then we just to be sure it's working, we can set a function in here, and we're going to console.log, and we're just going to use some backticks in here. Listening on port. Then to use the variable inside of a string, we do a $, 2 curly brackets, and we put in our variable in here. Now we'll save that. Now we can set up a dev script. So what we're doing here is every time we run npm run dev in our terminal, it'll run the following script first. So I'm just going to call this script dev, and when I'm running this script I want to run nodeman, and I want nodeman to load the file server. So what we're doing here is we're just saying on the dev script I want to run nodeman and want nodeman to run the server.js file. Okay, so we'll save that script, go back to our server.js, everything's okay. So down in our terminal then, to start our server, we can simply type npm run dev. So npm run dev. You can see nodeman started, and we have listening. Now we're listening on port 3000, so that's good. Now we're going to how to create an endpoint. Then we're just going to do use a get one first. So to do that, we're going to be using express, and we have express set to our variable app. So we just say app.get. Now, and inside the app.get, we just say we want to listen on port 3000 on the main page. So to get the main one, we just do a slash. After that, then we do a comma, and then these functions need a request and a response. So inside that function, then we type in what we want to return. So just to get it started, I'm just going to send back a response.send, and we're just going to say 3000 because we're on port 3000. So let's save that now. I'm going to use Postman to make all the requests. Postman, I find Postman, in my opinion, the best for working and testing APIs. So you can just go to Postman and download this. Now, so to set this up, here's all the requests that we make. So we're going to be making a GET request. So we click a GET request, and then we type in the backend address, the API endpoint address that we want. So we've set it to 3000. We have our port running on our local host on port 3000. So http://localhost 3000. If we make a request to that, we should get back 3000. So we press send, and there is 3000. Now, so that's an endpoint. We can also make a post request. So at that, this is when you would be sending data to the endpoint. So we'll do it on the main page again. So again, we'll need a request and a response, our function. Okay. So when we get our request and our response, our request will come in, so we're going to send back a response. Response is going to be response. We're going to send back it as JSON, but we can set a status as well. So we're going to set the status to 200. So that means it was a good request, it was found, and we're going to send back some JSON. So JSON takes an object. We can say success and we can set that to true, and then we just send back the request we made. We can do MSG, you can call this anything you want, and we're just going to send that to request dot body dash MSG. So we'll save that now, and we'll set up Postman to make this request. So we're going to make a post request. So we just click here, make a post request. And now we go to body. And we're going to select raw data.json. So between your two curly braces, and the request that we're sending is MSG. And the message will just say it's going to be post 3000. So then under our headers, once you set the body to raw and JSON, and you go to your headers, you need to make sure that the content type is equal to JSON. So we can set that here. Content type application JSON. Okay. There's one other thing we need to do in our file. To get the post request to be able to read the JSON data coming in, we just say app.use. And just say express.json. Save that, and you can see every time we resave that our NodeMon is restarting our server for us. Okay, so we just checked that we have everything done here. Okay, so post to the localhost 3000. We're going to send a message with this message, and it should return it for us. So we'll click on send. Okay, so yep, that's after working correctly. We've got back success true, and we have a message of port 3000. So that's just two basic endpoints to help. We have a get request and we have a post request. In the next video we'll be creating a few extra endpoints, and I will show you how to move all your endpoints from this folder into a separate folder, because we don't want all our endpoints cluttering up our server.js file. It'd be very hard to keep track of them all that way, so we're going to create a router and we're going to move all these to our router file. So that'll be coming up in the next video, how to clean up this file. Thanks very much for watching. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. Thanks very much for watching.